We're gonna call this Behind the Gloves After Dark. We are here with Mr. Ken Porter, father, trainer of Sean Porter. Ken, it was a great fight. People are calling it an instant classic.
Yes.
During the post-fight press conference, your son, your fighter, Sean, kept saying rematch, 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 rematch.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, your thoughts on the action, your thoughts on the fight, your thoughts on what went down and what we saw tonight.
I always like to reserve my judgment when I can go back and watch it, slow it down, and score it round by round. Because when I'm in the moment of the action of what's going on, I really can't score it. But I really felt like all the rounds were close, and the fight was right there. The fight was right there for Sean to win. I know Errol caught him with a shot, and that definitely made a difference. But that one score that I saw was just so out of context with the other scores. I really felt like, something going on here that's just not right. It just didn't work well with me. But they had a great fight. I think it's the fight of the year, no doubt, so far. Unless something else jumps off, I don't think anything is going to happen. We might get some quicker knockouts in some of these fights, like Deontay Wilder's fight coming up, but I don't think we're going to get the intensity that we got from round 1 through round 12.
Now, I know you are your son's harshest critic.
Yeah.
You want the best for him.
Right.
From what you saw in the ring, and I know just going off of what you saw and not what you're going to be able to see later on when you replay it, did Sean go with the plan? Did Sean do the things that you wanted him to do? Did he perform like you wanted him to perform tonight? He
did, but there was more that I expected of him. We make no excuses. Errol's a great fighter, so Errol was able to make adjustments, and Errol was also able to rumble back when Sean was able to bring some heat to him. Errol was able to rumble right back. Just small things like on the inside, his hand being lower than his chin, lower than his face, and getting touched, right there, may have made a difference. But, from my eyes, I'm just watching it, but being live, it's harder to score it because your intensity and your emotions are into the fight. But I was listening to my coaches, Barry Hunter, Hal Chernoff, Larry Wade, and they were all saying, "Hey man, we right here, we got this. We right here, we got this." And then we get a really, really wild score that just kind of, if that score wasn't there like that, man, maybe we got to draw.
Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, at the time of the knockdown, I had it 5-5.
Okay.
I had it even because it was the 11th round.
Okay.
Once the knockdown happened, I'm like, man, Sean needs to drop him in the 12th or the decision's going to Errol.
Right.
At that point in time. When you see Sean get hit, and you see, and I'm not even going to really call it a knockdown, but it's officially a knockdown because his glove touched the canvas.
Yes.
When you saw his glove touch the canvas, what went through your head?
We got to get that back. That's what went through my head. That's what I told him. But with that being the case, I knew Errol was very dangerous right there. So I asked Sean to counter him in the beginning of the round. I said, I need you to counter him. Wait for him to throw the shot and counter him. Once you counter him, then I need you to press him. So he kind of waited it out for me, and he did rumble back in that round as well. But
yes, he did.
Again, I need to see the scorecards, round by round, and see how they were scoring the rounds. But me myself, just from the naked eye, yeah, I definitely felt that was a change and a turn for the fight. But we could have walked away, if not a decision, a draw.
Now, again, as I stated when we first started this interview, throughout the post-fight press conference, Sean kept saying rematch, rematch, rematch.
Yes.
Do you guys want the immediate rematch, or do you guys feel like you need like a separate bout with one another?
We don't need a separate bout. We don't need a separate bout. All we need is for him to be accepting of the fight. I don't think that's where he wants to go with it. I understand that from a business standpoint. So, we'll be ready to go in spring of 2020. We'll be ready to go, and that's already been worked out. The conversations about that had already been had weeks prior to this. So we'll see what happens. You know, you got still got some really big fights out there. The Manny Pacquiao, the Danny Garcia climbed up in the ring. You know, maybe Errol doesn't take Danny. Maybe Errol wants to go for something else. You know, maybe maybe Danny wants to rematch us. We'll take a big fight like a Danny Garcia because we love big fights. Even though, you know, most guys won't rematch us, we would definitely do it.
2 final things for me. One, at the post-fight, it was incredibly pleasant. It was incredibly very generous with one another. You guys were very good with one another. And then at the end, it kind of went astray. Everybody went kind of crazy and haywire. The parties and everything, the entourages got kind of loud, and Kelly Swanson had to stop the post-fight press conference. How did it get to that level? How did it get? You guys were both everybody was being incredibly respectful, and then out of nowhere, the entourages kind of just took over.
It was funny that it went left so quickly. It was funny. I think initially when Errol and Sean said something to each other, it was kind of in a joking manner. And then because of the hypeness of the crowd, still not this part of the crowd of, you know, Shawn Porter fans not being happy with the decision, this part of the crowd, Errol Spence fans feeling like, you know, we won. They just started going at each other, and while they were going at each other, Errol and Sean started going at each other even more, and it just got out of control, and Kelly had to shut it down.
And the final thing I have to ask you before I even send anything off is, I spoke to you Thursday after the undercard and everything. I had to leave and everything, but something did occur after that. You and Derek James got into a situation and everything. Has that been worked out? Have you guys spoken about it? Are you guys cool to being all right once again?
Yeah. No, that's worked out. You know, as I said to him, you know, there's boxing and there's personal. Hey, and let's keep it boxing if that's what it is on a professional level with boxing. And we both came to an agreement with that, and so we've seen each other probably 3 or 4 times since then. And shook hands, and everything is good.
And finally, your final message for the fans. We finally got to see the fight that everybody's been wanting to see: Shawn Porter versus Errol Spence. And just what your final thoughts on it all?
Just the shortest thing I can think about it is, if you underestimated us and now you know better, then underestimate us. Hey. I'm sure that Errol, and he said it in the press conference, you know, he had to keep that, you know, in fight mode, but now he has to say that he had to respect Shawn. And Shawn said to him, the skills are better than you gave me credit for, and he said, yeah, kinda, sorta, but you know, reality situation was we backed him up quite a few times. I think we hurt him 3 or 4 times in the fight as well. We definitely let our presence be known to him. And nobody's ever hit him like that before. Nobody's ever pressured him like that. Nobody's ever fought him back like that repeatedly throughout this fight. Whenever he was trying to bear down on Shawn, Shawn switched, you know, flipped the script and came right back on him.
I thank you for your time as always, Kenny.
Thank you, guys.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else.